Welcome to Dragoncast.
Dragoncast,
the special dragon-filled episode.
Right. Dragoncast.
Listeners from last episode will know that we had to save all the cool Tarkir Dragonstorm talk to this episode here.
I know it's exciting. We're seeing some of the new cards out. As a shop, we can obviously open up them a little bit earlier ourselves to put get ready for sale. And I'm liking what I see. Like the cool new borders, very cool.
Yeah. As always, brand new
Very
Magic set
dragony.
around the corner, coming out this weekend for ourselves here at the time of
Pre-release.
recording. Pre-release, Saturday and Sunday, 12 o'clock on
Nice.
the 5th and 6th of April. Very excited for this Magic set. This one here is going to be returned to a kind of, I would say, a very influential set for Magic. Tarkir was a 3-color focus set, brought in a lot of the classic dragons you see playing right now, brought in a lot of cards you still see competitively played, and we're back. More dragons, more cool cards. You guys excited?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, do check out Nam's new burger.
Yeah?
Dragon Burger.
She has a dragon burger?
Dragon Burger is just like bracket chicken.
Yeah, it's the fried chicken, but we've arranged all the batter on it to look like scales.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's called Dragon Burger.
William's been diligently in there, like scaling them.
And then you put some hot sauce in there.
Well, I
for the
guess you
fire.
could get fish
Yeah.
skin and put
Look
it
at that.
over the chicken.
Why
Whoa.
don't Nam makes like a hot sauce fried dragon burger?
I did see a guy today, right? Video, and he went to KFC and he got a fillet of chicken from like a fillet burger there.
Yeah.
And then he went to McDonald's and got there's like I guess probably a cheeseburger or a Big Mac. And then he went to because the Fisher fillet, the burger must have been from Hungry Jack's, the beef part, and then the Fisher fillet was from McDonald's. And he put them all in the same burger. And he was like,
was it good?
He goes, it was good. And then the video ended. I was like, was that good? Is that
When you combine too many flavors, you lose it.
He did use the lid of the Fisher fillet to make sure the tartar sauce was on there.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot.
Weird.
That's
though.
a weird
tartar sauce and chicken. And
yeah,
beef?
fish and
Fish
on
burgers
beef, yeah.
need to just be fish burgers.
Yeah.
You leave it at that because you will lose the
Do
fish
you
taste.
do you like fish burgers?
I don't mind them.
I'll eat a fillet of fish from
Yeah.
McDonald's, but I don't really know how much fish is in there.
The
At
truth
all.
is, I'm a big fan of the classic.
Do you know
fish
that
taco.
McDonald's cheat?
What's
What do you
McDonald's?
mean they
cheat?
cheat?
The McDonald's cheat. Like if you want nice fillet of fish, right?
Oh,
just
you
say-
ask for something else. No, I ask for no sauce in it.
No. Just say that my pregnant wife wants it. So it's always made fresh.
No, the fillet of fish they have
No.
to fry the fillet fresh
No.
because it's a frozen fillet.
I'm fairly.
No.
No,
you can prepare
guess
it first.
I have definitely
they
had
can.
ones bought them at peak time, and they're a bit. You can tell they've been sitting there.
Yeah. So if
I've
you
been
want,
fortunate then because every time I've had one, it's been a fresh
if you want to
fry.
like guaranteed fresh, just say your pregnant wife wants one.
They can't risk the.
No, they have to. It's by law.
Because
If you're serving fish.
E. coli builds up. quicker or
Anything.
something. Yeah.
Everything.
Me
guess they don't
myself
risk it.
in the car ordering food. Yeah, I'm pregnant and I need.
No.
I like
your wife is at home.
Yeah, I like that after like 9 years of Ken going to the same McDonald's and ordering his fillet of fish because for his pregnant wife, she must be like, man, this guy fucks. Like,
I prefer me walking up to the counter and going to the person being like, I'm pregnant. I need a fresh one.
yeah, it's 2025. You can't have
That's what like my wife used to like crave like McDonald's, right? So we would just order that, and then you have the best.
I did see a thing in
chips and everything. It's nice.
America where there's something. One of the ingredients in the chips helps me get pregnant.
What?
Yeah,
Is it just the hormones they shove it into their food?
I think so. Yeah, in Australia,
Helps you get pregnant.
women get pregnant.
Hold on,
Okay.
before we move on to the next topic, fish tacos. Yay or nay?
No
I've only had good
Tacos.
ones, but I've heard you can get real bad ones.
I like fish tacos.
tacos.
Yeah, you go to a decent pub. You get a fish taco as an appetizer. It's pretty tasty.
I've only had them at like proper restaurants.
Have you
and
been to
they've
Nobu?
good.
Have I been? No, I haven't been to Nobu.
Well, they have this sushi and pear.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Nobu is sushi, right? Where it's like
You
the
can have
fancy stuff.
like fusion. It's like it's not fusion.
Have you been to Nobu, Danny?
Modern.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it was pretty
I
good.
was planning to take my mum for her birthday to Nobu, and she actually told me not to because she didn't like how expensive it was.
Really?
Yeah. My parents are very classic Asian,
I
where
get that,
I
yeah.
can't take them anywhere because my dad will look at the prices of things and complain.
I guess even if he
like,
doesn't
Dad,
want you wasting your money any more
I'm,
than he wants to
I'm
waste his
trying
own
to
money.
treat you guys. Get something nice. You guys don't have to be like this.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. Also, speaking
And Ken
about
buys a pack of collectibles.
well, speaking about the food, right? The meat tariffs, right?
well, crazy.
Something about
Yeah.
Have you seen today? PSA has stopped accepting submissions due to the new tariffs.
What's PSA?
the grading company.
The grading company.
Oh.
Do they get affected by the?
Yeah,
I guess.
because of the new tariffs from Trump.
So they won't accept them outside of America?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge thing, right? So everybody submits it to US.
Because at this point now, we're not even talking about Tarkir Dragonstorm, but we're talking about food. The whole
We're just willing
controversy.
to roar after every single station.
The controversy with the meat was our meat standards are very high, so we don't import meat from America.
Correct. Yeah.
Raw.
Absolutely. A lot of in America, a lot of the meat comes from the southern areas, so like Texas and New Mexico and stuff. So like that kind of area. Anything above the border actually tends to be not too bad, but they don't have anywhere near as much
Regulation.
regulation on the things they feed the cattle. So
Right.
inside the feed can be things like plastic and recycled goods, just to
America.
just
But I've
to
heard
build
that
up the
they're
feed.
way less regulated on things also the hormones, what they're putting in their cows,
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
also the regulation for disease and potential.
Well, then, with that, a lot of the meat, like half of the meat, not half, but like a big majority of meat comes from the southern states. And then the other half is coming from South America, where the regulation goes out the window completely.
Yeah.
And there's very little, and like that's where a lot of the processed meat is coming from. So by the time it gets processed and prepared and then, treated in whatever way to make it look fresh and then sent to America, there's really no way to know how good or bad it is because their
Right.
regulation just is not there to do that.
It's crazy because I read a statistic that we export 70% of our beef. So I always assumed that we were just having an excess, so we didn't need to import. Why is there any reason for us to import in beef?
I don't think we do at all.
Yeah.
Do we? Yeah, I don't
I'm
think
pretty sure we don't. We just have enough
The only place we
to
import
export.
beef from is Japan for that specific.
The Wagyu.
Yeah, I think it's the Wagyu. Yeah, but that's like even when you get you can get Wagyu beef that's grown here from like that Wagyu cow, and then there's Wagyu beef that's properly from Japan.
Because there's two species of Wagyu, right? There's the Japanese Wagyu that's super revered, and there's the Australian breed of Wagyu that was crossbred with a lot of Japanese Wagyu cows to make them more resilient in other climates.
I have been told by a butcher that there's no discernible difference.
Supposedly they are basically the same species.
Yeah.
It's just the way they raise is different.
It might be that the highlands where the Japanese beef is raised, the grass is maybe more nutrient dense.
They're
and richer.
fed basically. They're specifically like high graded Wagyu meat. The cows they don't move. They're not allowed to move to increase the most amount of fat and marbling.
They're not allowed to move.
Basically, and they're fed a super fat rich diet, so that it increases the most amount of fat marbling through their fat.
Do you reckon that's a nightmare for the cow? That sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be forced to eat
Sounds
and
like
not move.
what's it called? The foie.
But that is the
foie gras.
meat industry.
Yeah.
That is the meat industry, right? Where effectively you're trying to create a product to sell.
We're
vegan.
pretty
The cow
lucky
is a product.
in Australia, other than the fact that fires might come through and scorch a bunch of cows. For the most part, they live in pretty decent areas.
And
They've
they're
got access to
also-
food and water, and they can
they're,
walk around.
Wow.
They're also grass fed, right?
Yeah,
Talking
most
about fire and dragons. So
William's pulling us back on
wait,
topic
hold on,
here.
hold on. I'll go off topic a little bit. So what happened was, I think a couple of days ago, something happened in Malaysia. So I was still following all the news in Malaysia. One of the gas pipes leaked and then caused an explosion.
Like a big one.
It's pretty big. And the explosion is next to housing, like it's in the suburb. So like it's just probably like your house is like maybe 10 meters away from the gas line.
Nightmare situation.
Yeah. So the thing went kaboom, and it's not like explosion like as in like a damaging explosion, but the
A
fire
proper
was so
explosion.
big, it's so hot. It started melted all the houses.
Oh, really?
Melted.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everything melted.
This is a disaster.
and
situation.
all like the windows melted.
All the glass and stuff
Yeah.
like that,
all the
yeah.
cars melted.
Yeah, sometimes when you go through after fire area, and I've seen a few like especially the country ones, the glass starts to melt and it looks like stalagmites. Like from a
yeah.
cave, because it's like it just melts
start
down to
dripping.
wherever it is. Yeah, it's crazy.
Stalactite. From the top is T, from the bottom is M.
I'm impressed you remember that. I've tried to remember that from
You know
most of my
how?
life.
It's a deep T. Meet. That's how I remember it.
I'll try to remember that as well next time. So was there
Pretty good.
Like, is it one of the situations where they had to like continually try to put the fire out over a couple of days or something? Or?
No, you're gonna have to shut off the gas
Was anyone
lines.
hurt? That seems like a pretty serious situation.
It is very serious, and the whole place is just gone.
Melted houses.
This is melted.
Well, that whole region, there was also an earthquake.
Oh, okay, that was
Myanmar,
crazy
right?
in Myanmar.
Oh, yeah, in Myanmar's
And then
That was rough.
It went to like Bangkok, like 100 k's away.
Yeah. Do you see that now that they're like going through the rubble, they're using all of that Rio steel that they came out of China, where it looks like metal on the outside of the Rio bar, but on the inside
Oh,
is like
no.
soft material.
Oh crap!
Yeah, that that really big one that all the videos are of.
Yeah.
That building primarily is there, and in China, where that construction company is from, a couple days, the day or so after, the cars were seen filling up the cars outside the construction company with all of the like paperwork and files and driving all the files away.
Oh, trying to burn them.
Yeah, somebody called them on a drone or something, and they was loading hundreds.
They were
and hundreds of
sanitizing
files.
all their
They just got rid
records.
of everything. Yeah, but that only 6 months before, concerns were raised about the validity of how well that structure was going to hold. But a year before that, they won an
award.
Yeah, no, I think not. I think an award, like not a competition, but like an award on like innovative building and
Oh,
construction like,
crazy.
things.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's crazy
how
though.
quickly that turns around.
Like how an earthquake there happened there.
Did you see the
buildings
the
all
footage?
just- yeah, I did.
because it also struck like fairly developed places, and nowadays everything's online. So there's camera footage from like the top of balconies of hotels.
yeah, all the water coming off of them.
Yeah. You had this guy who was hanging out in the pool as the entire thing was shaking.
Because they're not meant.
When you're on
to
top- when you're at the
withstand
very top of a
earthquake,
building.
right? The whole place
They are designed. They have to be designed to withstand earthquakes.
not as well as Japan.
Wow.
I mean,
course.
because you're not expecting.
But you can't be having your towers falling down randomly.
But all of Southeast Asia is on a fault line, right?
No.
Yeah,
We're
that's why
not.
there's mountains there, isn't there?
No. We are like in Malaysia. We are like
quite
out,
safe.
out of it. Yeah.
yeah, but
totally
it
out.
hits the waters.
Yeah, we were protected by Indonesia. That's why when the tsunami hit, like
Yeah, I
they
remember.
hit,
There was a big one.
Over
we
while
just
back.
protected.
So is there any volcanoes in that area at all?
No,
There's
zero.
nothing. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Indonesia, yes.
Can you imagine being on top of a skyscraper and an earthquake hits?
Oh.
You kind of just gotta pray.
Nightmare.
You just hold on and see what happens. You just gotta hope.
Lucas sent me one. It was a video, and they were in the pool when the earthquake started, and the guy gets out and runs away from his girlfriend. He just gets out of there.
Where are you gonna go?
Yeah, true.
You don't,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that situation you don't get in the lift.
Yeah, you definitely
You
don't
take the
get in the
stairs,
lift. I think
and then you're going down 100 flights of stairs as fast as you can.
So many like back-to-back disasters.
Oh yeah, heaps.
What if they just pack a bunch of parachutes top floor?
Not a bad idea. That's actually not a bad idea. I guess the average punter's not like
You get
trained.
one pamphlet to figure out how to use it. Good luck.
I like the idea of signing into your 5-star hotel, and as you're checking in, they're like, "All right, here's your parachute. If you need it, you just fly off the side." And you're like,
There
"Oh,
were
fuck."
a lot of like influencers who were in Bangkok when it happened.
Yeah.
When it happened.
Yeah, so a lot of like they.
I don't know how true
documented
this
A lot of
is.
footage, yeah.
But apparently, because of the Ukrainian-Russian conflict, a lot of Russian, more wealthy people have taken refuge in Thailand and
Oh,
Bangkok.
in Malaysia as well.
yeah.
It's less refuge and more like illegal political exile.
It's like it's oligarchs' children and stuff, right?
It's actually it's much more horrific than that.
Right.
Like especially in Thailand, they've taken over entire towns and kicked locals out and like enslaved people and stuff like that. It's actually horrific. The majority of the Russian people that don't want to be can afford to leave and not be put into not subscription. What's the word?
Conscription.
Not conscription. They've fled to places like Indonesia and Thailand where maybe the law can be flaunted a little bit easier. I say in Malaysia, they probably have a bit of better control, right?
Yeah, because you can wave a bit of cash and bribe your way
Yeah,
through.
the bribery is like quite bad, right? And the like some of the more icky stuff like slavery and like forced things is actually quite bad in a lot of these areas at the moment. And the local police just don't have the strength to like push back even against the corruption because the money that they're coming through is insane.
Yeah.
Because like the whole, we don't want to get too far into it, but the whole Russian thing they were conscripting like older people in their 50s and 60s.
They were
So,
getting pretty rough. Like there's a lot of news coming out of them getting pretty desperate with conscription.
yeah. So,
It's still happening, the war?
yeah,
Yeah, for
it's quite bad.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
yeah.
Of
Why
soldiers.
just
Anyway,
call it.
Downies for the Dragon episode.
Yeah, you know what's cooler than war and political
Raw is
global
war.
political and earthquakes? Dragons.
I like my
Magic the Gathering.
wars withheld within a card game.
Isn't it awesome that people on the drive to work, they can be popping on the broadcast? I want to check out some hobby talk. take myself out of the day to day, and we're over here talking about.
I know you
earthquakes
personally, you've
and
got
war.
heaps of time on your hands, Kang. So what we'll do is we'll get you to edit over every time we say anything like that. Just put in a more fun word.
It's just Williams Raw.
Yeah, you know how like there's Sultai and like different groups. We'll just put those words over like Russia or something.
Yeah, the Madu Sultai conflict. They're all taking refuge in Thailand.
The one last thing about the earthquakes before we leave that one is did you see the one where there's a sky bridge and the swimming pool goes from one tower to the other? And one of the towers was shaking a lot, and obviously it broke there. But that meant all the water from the sky bridge, as you swim across, like crashed down at the same time.
No good.
But one of those towers was shaking incredibly, and it's like meters it's waving in the air.
Yeah.
And they're actually designed to be able to wave a bit so that it moves, like they roll with
It needs to be because so
they're supposed to roll with the waves of the
earthquake.
Yeah, the earthquake, right? So
you actually don't want your tower rigid because that's how the tower falls.
but yeah, all the bits will just snap, right? So it's supposed to roll a bit. But can you imagine just being up there while it's shaking? You're moving meter to meter.
Yeah.
I think that's why I have like a bit of fear with like cruise ships, you know, because you see all those footage of them getting hit by those massive waves and all the pool tables like flying across the room. It's like,
Damn.
that seems like too much for me, I think. So
I watched Titanic once.
That's it.
as a teenage boy, I watched Titanic a few times.
And when the scene when the boat snaps, yeah, I get it. It's a rational fear to have.
So
we don't have mastery over the waves and the oceans.
Yeah.
That's nature's kingdom.
Defeatist. That's why I think I like, talk about pirates and sailors in the like 1500s. I think they all had like a bit of a death wish. They're like, like dogs will leave the house when they get too old. They just walk into the bush to go die. I feel like that's what a sailor was. You're like, eventually I'll get hit by a wave and it'll be done, right? So I'm not, because everyone was religious then, so you can't commit suicide because that's against your religion. So by getting on a boat, it's like kind of like doing
a death wish.
Yeah, it's a death wish, right? You're like, eventually you're going to get done by a big wave or something like that. But you know how everyone knows the fact how James Cameron, when he filmed the Titanic, he had to do it at like 78% of the size because to do that extra 12% or whatever was going to be like $10 million more.
Oh, damn.
So he built the entire set and he was aiming to do it completely life size, but he had to scale it down by like 10, 12%.
It makes sense.
Because he'd spent X amount of millions, and to do that just extra 10% was going to be like $10, $20 million more, right? But because the scale was off by just a small amount, what he did was he only hired short actors so that the humans looked to scale to all of this time. Like
Wait,
this
is real?
Yeah, it's 100% real, yeah. So
is Leonardo short?
yeah, it's pretty short for a guy, yeah. But it's more about having like when the people are like running along the decks and their kids and stuff like that. He's only hired really short people so they look at the right height.
Right.
So they're like what a smokestack should be and stuff like that.
It is funny that it went through a budgeting process where the
Yeah.
producers had to be like, we need to make things slightly smaller to afford this.
Well, they did that in like Lord of the Rings as well. Like when they're making Lord of the Rings, they used every bit of tin available in the country to make chainmail. They'd run out of tin.
Wow.
Yeah, like to make the chainmail, and the women who were making the chainmail in the groups, they made so much chainmail for the orcs that they ran out of they rubbed their fingernails off permanently because they were constantly
Whoa,
making it. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And they ran out of horses. They had no more horses left in the entire country.
In New Zealand, you couldn't buy a Milo.
Yeah, in New Zealand, every person had donated their horse that was like able to actually move around. Nobody could do it, and most of the battles with horses were all women because it was mostly like the women that do like the trot riding and like the
show horsing.
Yeah, show horsing. It's mostly a female sport in like New Zealand. I don't know if it's everywhere, but because of that, so they had like a lot of women who had like chest
Just dressed as dudes.
Yeah, dressed as dudes and with like chest bulk ups and stuff like that, and arm bulk ups to make them look more aggressive when they're fighting.
Turns
each
out the
other.
NAS schools were fucked.
Yeah. They also did a roll call for Urukai to be like Islanders and Maori people as well, but they didn't want to say
size.
that. So they did like a vetting process where they would let anybody do it, but they'd only hire Maoris.
And then they all shop in the room to like do the rehearsal. Wait a fucking minute.
Back to Dragonstorm.
All right. Okay. On topic.
Yes.
Tarkir, Dragonstorm. We're going to ride in. You guys excited for any specific cards? This is
I have a lot of cards.
Classically, this is a big dragon set, lots of big reprints. If you like dragons, this is set for you. We're talking big creatures, a lot of also synergistic gameplay as well. It's a 3-color emphasized set. So whenever you introduce more colors, you can get a little bit more, you can squeeze a little more power out of those cards. So we're getting some really cool 3-color cards back in. All right. Notably,
What's your favorite non-dragon card in the set?
I don't have.
For me, it's easy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Mox Jasper. It's not a dragon.
I guess
I would class that as a dragon card.
the big notable brand new shiny
Oogie.
card, the serialized card for this set is Mox Jasper. So it's a new Mox. This one is a 0-mana artifact that taps for any color if you control a dragon. So it's one of those 0-mana Moxins as a caveat. So it's balanced around you having to play dragons. I think this card is fine. A lot of people are very up in arms. Whenever you see a new Mox, you're very like, oh no, it's so OP. It's fine.
This one's tamed down enough to be
Correct.
fine.
And it's specifically for the dragon decks. And for the dragon decks, love it. Gotta be. Come on, man.
What I love is that it opens up the precedent to be able to do it for all of the other primary tribes.
Yeah.
Like I would
Couple of them would be busted though.
imagine
Mox, a Mox something for the elves.
that too. But like think of the art options and like the Mox zombie. Like that'd be so cool.
What this is very cool is that they're expanding out the gems they're using for the Moxin. So the original Moxin were the usual gems, and we've had Mox Diamond, we've had Mox Opal, Mox Pearl.
Oh, and then imagine the universe beyond crossover that you can have with the
Mox
like,
Sponge.
like the Mox zombie, Mox Sponge. Like Mox zombie, and then it's like Eddie from like Iron Maiden
Yeah.
on the thing. Like that. Come on, man, that would be sick.
I mean, if they maintain the Marvel license for long enough, we might have the Infinity Stones as Moxin.
What's the most common like race tribe that comes across? Is it humans or is it
Humans
something else?
in Marvel, right?
Humans in Marvel, yeah. What would be the Marvel Mox? Like the Infinity Stones or the
Yeah.
glove? Or what? That's not really a symbol of power.
The glove
to them.
couldn't be. I don't think the glove would be a Mox. The
Yeah.
gems could definitely be a Mox.
Well, the gems like blue will probably be like wizards.
Because they have what is it the Time Stone, Reality Stone, yada
Yeah.
yada yada.
But is that what's the symbol of power for Marvel? Like
power.
Power.
maybe like the Avengers symbol, maybe.
Yeah, I get it. But Jasper, I actually looked up Jasper. It is a real semi-precious stone that exists, and it looks like what they've depicted in the picture, like a opal, like a very dark obsidian opalescence with like ridges of red and orange that run through it, reminiscent of like fire and magma. So it's actually a
Nice.
very appropriately chosen Moxin. I would love them to expand them out and keep the thing going, the trend going.
A few months ago, I actually saw an article on like Jasper and a few other opals and diamond, like colored
It's a
diamonds.
thing that we get in Australia, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So up at Lightning Ridge, a few hours north from here, where the lightning actually strikes the rock, you can just walk around and find them on the ground. Not a lot, and they're still worth a lot of money. But they do because where it is, the lightning hits the stone and it crumbles, so it opens up new sections all the time. But yeah, because diamonds, you can now make diamonds, right? You can make them like
Lab manufactured diamonds now.
but you can't do that with colored, like with the same quality for the like regular gems. So some of the regular gems that have been worth a lot compared to diamonds are starting to rise in value as people shift their like.
The cultural recognition of diamonds is different now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Diamonds is a scam.
Also, more
Did you
and
buy
more
your wife a diamond ring for
Yeah.
wedding? How did you feel about it? You know just how much it is. But how did you feel? Was it like something that you were okay with, or
Did you
feel
want
like you
to
were
buy a
getting
ring, or
scammed?
did you feel like you had to?
No,
I
the
mean-
ring's different, but it's whether there's a diamond in it. I get the ring part because it's a symbol.
I think it's
You got to get a
marketed.
diamond in the ring, right?
It's marketed,
Yeah.
like
That's kind of the
over marketed.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think diamonds
Of
are
course.
overly marketed.
Diamonds are, I think culturally, people are caring less about diamonds, especially in the young folks. People are just going to buy lab grown diamonds.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a big push of like,
No,
you gotta go
hold on,
for,
hold
you gotta
on,
go for
hold on.
naturally
Very
natural
wrong.
diamonds.
I will correct you. People who has, I would say, if they have a choice, they will not go for the lab grown diamond.
Correct. If they don't,
Yeah.
people would still, there's still the desire for a natural diamond,
Of
but that's
course.
more and more now becoming a, like, if you already have a bit of money on you, like the everyday person now is kind of, lab grown diamond.
What I've noticed with like kids Lucas' age, they're okay with wearing the fake diamonds. Like it's clearly very fake, just fake cheap stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't even care. They're like,
It's
yeah,
just
of
more
course it
about,
is. Why would I spend money on
it's
that?
more about just getting the look.
Well,
So-
they're still young.
Yeah, I realize that. yeah.
When they reach that age, then it's different.
But they'll probably like kids usually bring their beliefs into them with adulthood. Like there's some things change, but for the most part,
it's
like,
called reality.
yeah, like it used to be embarrassing to wear like fake Prada, but now the kids are like they all
Correct.
wear it and they all know
Yeah,
that none of
when
them have real Prada
the
stuff.
thing is, it's environment, right? So when all your environments are okay with it, then it's fine. But when you are put into an environment, let's say you go to like a posh grammar school, then everybody's wearing real, and then you are.
Whoa, are you calling my children poor little scabby children who goes to a poor place?
I don't.
Well,
have,
I saw his Instagram
I feel like
photo.
that's what he said.
I don't have branded stuff for my kids, so it's okay.
I saw him wearing the hood rich with the skinny jeans.
Oh, yeah,
and like the
right.
belt
so
visible.
I'm just saying, like environmental things, like it plays a part.
Yeah, I guess
Like
so,
if everyone around you is wearing like real stuff, and then
Course.
and then it will say like, it's not
I think
real.
in most average youth, it's more about just achieving the look and then kind of moving on from there. The authenticity of it is just more important than achieving the certain look so you can fit that demographic.
Do you know what my favorite look is, William?
What?
Looking like a dragon. Raw.
Raw.
Nice. Do you have a favorite dragon then from the set?
Yes, I have a lot. So now I only will pick 3 dragons.
Ooh. So you have your favorite dragons.
Yes, dragon cards.
Do you have your favorite cards, Danny?
3 dragon
Yeah,
cards.
yeah.
3
I definitely do.
very.
All right, show and tell. Let's just bring
All
up a
right,
card.
so
and talk about
I
it. Let's go.
play commander, and I play a mono red dragon deck.
Yeah.
That's all I play.
Who's your commander at the moment? It's Lassless, right?
He still lets us. Yeah.
Dragon Queen.
So number 1 card in this set is Dracogenesis.
Oh, yeah.
I want to play a rooftop storm.
Drachnogenesis is a
8 to
8
play.
mana enchantment. It's 6 and 2 red for saying, and it says your dragons basically cost 0 mana. So you may cast
Omniscience.
dragon spells without paying the mana cost. It's
How-
effectively rooftop storm.
How do we feel about it, boys? Is it too pushed?
Nah.
Because rooftops
I actually think this card is bait.
is bait.
Yeah.
I can play this easy.
I think this card is good, but it's nothing crazy. It costs
Can you
8
imagine
mana.
if-
By the time you have 8 mana, you're probably just able to play whatever dragon you want.
Nah,
Yeah, but you play that and then it's free.
Okay,
Sure.
It makes
but think
it
about
free.
how many cards would you have?
Wait,
how many
hold
cards
on.
do you have left in your hand by the time you have 8 mana?
that's what you play. Something.
And how many of them are dragon cards in your hand?
True.
It's such a big.
Or-
Think of it this way. In a 5 color deck, you could just play Omniscience. It's the same as Omniscience at that point.
Yeah, but
In
you're
a deck that
mono
has
red.
it is just
True.
Omniscience.
True. I hear ya.
To be fair, I think it's still a good card, and the dragon decks will still play it. But it's once again, it's a 9 mana enchantment. You have to dedicate yourself into this strategy.
I guess the one benefit over like Rooftop Stormers is that it does allow you to play it from your command zone instead of just your hand.
Right. I think this card is
What is
good,
that red
but
color
nothing
spell
crazy.
that adds 1 red mana for every tap
Jessica's
land?
will. Oh yes,
Ah?
yeah.
Mana Geyser.
Mana Geyser.
Mana Geyser?
It is Mana Geyser? Yeah.
You get red for every tapped land your opponent controls.
Right.
Yeah.
So you get to play that maybe in turn 4.
You can definitely get this
True.
out.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything crazy OP. I think it's very. I
Alright.
think it's
Yeah, I
a good
guess if
card,
it-
but it's being overrated.
Playing Mana Geyser and then playing turn 4 is like a unicorn situation. So if you
And-
pull it off, that's fine.
If you play this spell and then you play Storm Skill Scion,
Yeah.
Which one's that one?
it's a dragon, 6 to play, 2 red, 4 colors, flying. Other dragons you control get +1/+1, and Storm.
It is.
the Storm
The
Dragon.
Storm bit obviously matters. It's funny that it gives you the +1/+1. Like a 6/6 dragon needs the +1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a 4/4. So you just storm it.
Got it.
So you play everything in your hand.
Oh yeah,
and
true.
then
You're gonna
storm
come
it.
in with like at least 2 or 3 of them, right?
Yeah. And then what happened combo with Lattice? Like, boom.
Oh. The dragon decks are really epitomizing.
And-
I'm
and-
going to play
Wait,
the
hold
biggest,
on.
scariest thing.
So Dragogenesis is good because you don't. It doesn't say play from your hand.
Correct. Your commander costs free.
I think I just said that, William.
Did you?
Yeah, and you looked at me while I was saying it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And then
You
my
guys
third,
both said the same thing, but in different ways.
my third card.
Yeah, but mine was first,
for
and
this
that's what
set is Magmatic
To be fair,
Hellkite.
though, I'm actually not looking forward to the Dragon player dropping Drachnogenesis and then immediately dropping Dragon afterwards.
I think it's more gross when you play the other one, the D&D one. When you go,
Oh, the Miram?
what's the main one with all the heads?
Tiamat.
Yeah, Tiamat. Because you play
Lords of
Tiamat.
Dragons.
Well, no, you go find 7 dragons. Oh. So you play Dragogenesis, you play Tiamat, you go find 7 dragons, you play 7 dragons.
Maybe my analysis on Drachnogenesis is I'm willing to accept that this card might be correct.
In
correct.
mono red, it seems fair. In something like green, where you could play it
Yeah,
turn
get the
like
ramp
3 or
out.
4,
I think the Dragon decks inevitably are always being big target this player.
you know how you
decks.
can like unearth creatures from your graveyard back onto the field, right?
Yeah.
Is there is there many enchantment versions of that where you can dump it into the thing and then like play it out turn 2?
Not
Yeah,
really.
absolutely.
There is?
Yeah. There's a lot. Enchantments are very easy to get out of the graveyard.
How? Which one?
Replenish.
That's
4 mana.
4 mana. Like turn 2.
Yeah, you just got to get Oh yes, I'm talking about if you could find ways to cheat enchantments in. Yes, there are ways to cheat enchantments in. There's the Academy Rector. Dies, search for an enchantment in your deck, goes into play.
Oh
Oh
my god.
yeah.
Damn.
Enchantments are fairly
It's so
easy
good
to cheat.
sacrificing your humans to your dragons as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think what Drachnogenesis
Damn, that's
does
gross.
is it leads to play cycles where like you do crazy big splashy plays and you kind of end the game there, which I'm okay with. A 9-mana enchantment saying I basically win when I get to untap.
1 week from now, do we see only dragon decks at Commander?
People better be packing some board wipes.
You better be packing board wipes and creatures with reach.
Yeah.
What's it?
Nah, your reach creatures ain't good enough, bro.
Elder Gargaroth?
Not good
Everyone
enough.
needs to play Elder Gargaroth now.
I think the Elder Gargaroth still gets eaten by dragons. Dragon decks get pretty scary.
Yeah.
All right, do you have a third dragon of your favorite?
Yes, Magmatic Hellkite.
Ooh, which one? That one. I
4
actually don't know
mana,
that one.
2 colors, 2 red. When it enters, destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. Searches his deck for a basic land card and put into battlefield with a tap stun counter on it. And then shuffle.
Oh, so it punishes them for an extra turn with the land
Correct.
as well.
That's cool. Have you guys ever built dragon decks
Yes.
Yeah.
in Commander?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've never built a dragon deck before.
No, my dragon deck is not a dragon, just red.
But I was tempted. I own an dragon, and I was tempted to just be like,
Because dragon belongs
just
to red,
put all the cards
not
in.
other colors.
Well, I built a team at with a 5 color, and then I what's the word? Built the team out one, and then I took all of my dragons from all the different colors, and I did the thing where you have like the core part of the deck ready, and then you had a slot of 25 dragons, and then but I actually had like 60 dragons, and you just pick 25 each time to put in the deck.
So you were shuffling new dragons in.
Yeah, and then like because with Tiamat you can just go search for 7 dragons, so most people will find like a winning combo. I always just
Very lame.
because I want to play. I just always took whatever the first 7 were as I shuffled through, and that way at least I'm playing because with the different dragons and then just taking the non-choice thing. At least you're getting a little bit of different game style. But then William became the dragon guy, and I did sell off most of my dragons at that point. But what I did do was go away and build my Dungeons and Dragons deck, where it's the dungeons. It's a dungeon deck where you go through dungeons, but it also has dragons.
So you were playing the literal.
Yeah, I played
Dragons.
literal Dungeons and Dragons, but it's in white, blue, black. So all the
Awkward colours.
all the dragons are pretty rough, but it's
Yeah.
like so it felt like a underpowered way to play that.
Those
game.
white dragons are going to be doing most of the heavy lifting.
Yeah. The blue dragons are like the weird blue serpents from Thrones of Eldraine.
Gotcha.
Wait.
most of the blue dragons are weird, kind of.
Do you know the dragon-
smaller, control-y dragons?
Yeah.
The blue dragons from Bellows Gate went up in price.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess maybe they were the good ones.
I do like with now that the dragons are so strong. I like the idea of building like mono green dragons.
Yeah.
Or like some
Ooh.
off-color
Okay,
dragons. Like
because there's some good monocolored
Yeah.
dragons. Like there's some good monocolored legendary dragons
Yeah, well,
that
green-
don't see the light of day because it's overshadowed by the
Correct.
multicolored dragon commanders.
Absolutely correct. Yeah, and I found it in the Dungeons and Dragons one. Some of the white black dragons, like there's some blue black dragons from original Tarkir, actually really good. Like there's a black one that comes in and it's a board wipe when it enters, so you can clear the board and then your dragons left there to like there's still something left there.
Yeah.
Biggest problem with the back of board wipe is you pay 5 to 4 to
Those
7
are
mana.
cards that normally would just see play in the 99.
Yes.
But if you give it the spotlight to shine in a commander spot, that could be cool.
One of the biggest problems with mono red dragons is having the mana available to cast the big things, right? But you can play mono green dragons with the whatever his name is that makes treasures when he does damage.
Old Norbones.
Old Norbones.
Ah.
So imagine you can do mono green is already kind of busted because you've got options of like
The green dragons are
all you
good.
need.
Cradle Hoof, baby.
Yeah. I'm just gonna,
the dragons.
I'm just
The
gonna
dragons don't need more.
draw wings on the fucking mammoth that is the cradle.
It's
The
a
dra-
hippogriff.
The dragon decks are super satisfying to build, in my opinion, because most cool dragons are legendary creatures. When you build the deck, it feels like you're just filling it full of iconic, notable characters with really powerful effects. It's a very satisfying deck to play, and I understand why people want to build it.
There was a guy
Very
here
cool.
who built a red-green dragon deck, and it was all the dragons that like looked like humans. So it was like none of the animal dragons. It was all
Whoa.
of like like dragon
Sarkhan?
like people.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of Baldur's Gate stuff, and there's a quite like
Yeah, the Dragonborn-y
like
looking
Animorph kind
cards.
of peoples. Yeah, but it was like the whole way I was playing it, I was like, if that was just an actual dragon, you'd be hitting me in the air.
True.
Still good to play, but it was definitely a toned down version of that thing. But then also some tables you need that toned down version of the game, right? So
So I got a couple cards here for myself as well that I've notably we're going to talk about here for the Tarkir Dragonstorm. Notably, it's not just dragons that are taking the spotlight here. We have 2 big planeswalkers in the set. I'm not sure what relevance they have in the story, but we'll have like a lore episode where we'll have Matt back on talking about where we find ourselves in Tarkir Dragonstorm. I feel like this is a big turning point in the lore. As far as I can tell, something is going on. Apparently, Nicobolus is back. I'm not sure. Ugin's definitely back. Well, I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh,
suspicious. Was that your Siri?
Siri turning on, yeah.
Siri wants to be joining in. Hey Siri, what's your favorite dragon? So
My favorite dragon is Ugin.
all right, the biggest was I think up there top 3 most
So did
expensive
you say
cards.
Nicobolus is back?
Yeah, well he never died.
Yeah, but he's been imprisoned, isn't he?
He's imprisoned in the dream realm with Ugin.
With Ugin, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if Ugin's in the set, then yeah, it must be some sort of
Something
relevant.
happened.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Matt back on.
They've got bored talking to each other in the in the realm together.
Yeah. They have to move out finally. New Ugin, very good card in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Ugin, Eye of the Storms is a colorless planeswalker. It's 7 mana for a 7 loyalty planeswalker with a static ability that says, when you cast this spell, exile one target permanent that's one or more colors. So ETB, killer thing. Very good. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, exile up to one target permanent that's one or more colors. So whenever you cast a colorless spell, exile a thing.
Yeah.
If it just said that, this card is already doing a lot.
Busted, yeah.
+2 on loyalty, you gain 3 life, draw a card. Sure, just generically draw cards in Ugin. Okay, why not? 0 mana, add 3 colorless. Notably, it kind of makes Ugin a 4 mana planeswalker. Really, if you think about it.
Well, you can play him, get 3 mana back, play 3 costing, exile
Oh,
something.
dude, yeah, you just play like a chromatic lantern and zap a thing.
Yeah.
And then play bubble.
Dude, my mana,
Oh, gross.
yeah, your mana rocks become source of power chest. It becomes exiles.
What's the most egregious thing you can do with this?
Oh my god, I don't
Oh,
even
a
know.
lot.
Well, the egregious is actually his ulti. So -11, which is very easy to get. You tick up twice, and you ulti Ugin because he's 7 loyalty, ticks up for 2. Search your library.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, right. Search your library for any number of colorless non-land cards. Exile them and shuffle. Until end of turn, you may cast those cards for free.
Oh my god, you just exile everything on the board. Is it non-land? Is the exile?
Here's the thing. Notably, you search your library for any number of colorless non-land cards.
Yeah.
So anything that's not a land. So basically, any artifact.
But his static abilities, you can exile. You exile.
Yeah,
play-
whenever you
cast.
cast colorless.
yeah.
So you exile everything.
You just exile everything.
But notably, because you're just searching for colorless cards, you just find artifact win conditions. You instantly search for the infinite
But
win.
you
and
already win.
yeah, but also if you're a shitter, you don't find a winning combo, and you just exile everybody's permanents.
You
constantly.
find every single mana rock in your deck, so you can play them
Wait,
all
wait.
in exile.
Hold on.
You know that statue that when you cast it, it returns to your hand.
Yeah.
You just.
Oh, Cloudstone Curio.
No. It's actually from the previous Tarkir, one of the sets, and it's usually played in Anima, and you.
Cloudstone Curio.
Yeah, Cloudstone Curio.
No.
Whenever you
it's
cast a
a-
permanent, you bounce one of your permanents.
It's a statue, and it does it itself. It's a single 7 mana statue, but you cast it and then it returns to your hand.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah, it's usually in Anima because Anima you reduce the
reduce the
cost
cost.
down by
keep playing it.
yeah. So if Anima 7, then you just can play it for
Yeah.
0. But in this, it's the same thing, right?
So Ugin is 7 colorless, is very achievable. It can go into any deck at once. But specifically, you really want to be in a deck that plays a lot of colorless to maximize ability. The reason why this is important because at 7 mana, it puts it into Tron mana. Tron is a archetype that hasn't really seen play competitively in a while. The notable big Tron piece back. So Tron is a set of 3 lands, the Urza lands, where if you get all 3 on your board, collectively they tap for 7 mana.
Oh, is he thinking like maybe in the standard and modern, it's going to make a bit of difference?
Not standard, but Tron used to be like very dominant in modern, very dominant in legacy. It's fallen out of favor. I feel like this is Wizards' way of trying to get those decks back into the formats because it's actually a kind of like a
cool legacy thing, right?
It's a little, it's a deck that's been around for a very long time. And the notable main 7 mana planeswalker that they used Tron into was Khan Liberated. And Khan Liberated shares a lot of similarities with this Ugin.
Yeah, it
this
does,
Ugin is just better than Khan Liberated.
It's funny you say that because I've definitely had discussions here in the club where people talked about that one of the sets was going to have the Tron lands in it, but then they realized it was going to be in the same set as something coming up. So maybe this was the thing coming up, and they couldn't have both of them in there at the same time.
Yeah, they have the new Urza land, right?
Do they?
Yeah.
They have a couple new utility lands.
What's that? Thunder Junction.
Does it tap for 7 mana?
Yeah,
No, it's a new Urza land.
Oh.
It's just Urza something.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I remember discussions with people talking about it. It was like whether one of the Wizards events in America where they were talking about like they were going to reprint the Tron lands in that set because it kind of made sense. Just for that ability, but then they were worried about it clashing with something coming up. Maybe this is what's coming up.
Talking about land reprints, they did reprint the fetch lands, but not in the set as special guests. So we do have some fetch land reprints as well in the set.
Will they be in collector boosters or?
They'll
Yeah,
be in the collector
collectors.
boosters as guest spots.
Want to get the dragon skin?
Yeah, there's a new foiling type. There's quite a few different art styles in this set, but the new foiling technique they're trying out is like the dragon scale
skin.
foiling.
Did we see any of those in the box that we opened?
Nope.
No.
Interesting.
No.
If we did, we're rich.
So
They're
it's
quite expensive,
So
right?
they're going to be very limited. I noticed there was a very like a strong limitation on the islands as well. Didn't see a lot of those.
Yeah.
So they might be quite popular.
There's a cycle of basics where they're full art lands featuring like a close up of a dragon's eye.
Eye of
really
Ugin.
emphasize that.
Oh
this is
man,
a
I can
dragon set.
trying to change my Dragonlands.
They look. I think they look cool personally. I kind of
It's
like
gonna
it for the
be
dragon
expensive,
decks.
though. To get because you got a mono red, to get enough mono red.
I think I should enough because I play a lot of non-basics.
Yeah.
Because the dragon red mono red, right, has so little like utilities that I need to depend on my lands.
Yeah,
to
you
do
only
stuff.
kill players and kill creatures. You can't really deal with other.
So
things.
like I need to play like what's it called, the desert that exiles graveyard.
oh, Dust Bowl.
No.
No, the land not Pajuka Ball because you're not in black.
This is colorless.
It's a desert, like wasteland and stuff like that.
Yeah. But you exile the land, you exile someone's graveyard. Like you tap it and you can exile.
There's plenty of artifacts that do it.
Yeah.
though.
So
I don't know about the land. I
That's
can't remember.
my like only way of mono red removing like a reanimated deck.
Oh, like Ghost Quarter or something? Ghost
Yeah,
Quarter
something
does
like that. But
No,
it's
Ghost Quarter
just
gets
for
rid of a
exile.
non-basic.
It's a desert. It's a desert. Like there's a bone on it. I can't remember what's the name.
I'm sure it exists.
Oh, yeah, it looks like a snake or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Scavenging
Yeah.
grounds or something like that. I can't remember.
Maybe, yeah, you might be right. Maybe it is Scavenging Grounds.
Yeah, Scavenging Grounds. Yes, you're right. Scavenging Grounds.
They also introduced a showcase borders back in the set again.
Mm-hmm.
They have some really cool bordered versions of cards where
Yeah.
it looks like the dragon's wings are rapturing the card.
Yeah.
very cool as well.
Like an archer made out of like
Very,
dragon things.
very.
Yeah, to me, it reminded a little, you know the tablets in Skyrim where you find them on the wall. It was that kind of style of stuff. Very cool.
And of course, you got your usual extended borderless versions of art and stuff. This set is kind of packed full of just ridiculous looking art.
Very strong set, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And the next Planeswalker we'll talk about is another significant Planeswalker that's been very featured in the storyline. I feel like she's becoming like the new protagonist, taking over that kind of like main character role. There's a new Elspeth. We have Elspeth Stormslayer as a 5-mana Planeswalker, 3 colorless and 2 white for a 5 loyalty. Elspeth once again has a static ability that says if you were to create one or more tokens, create double those tokens. So she's a token doubler in white. White's been recently getting a lot of token doublers. I feel like it's kind of that's the trend going forward. Tick up 1 loyalty, create a 1/1 white soldier token, but with her own static, it's technically 2 soldiers.
2.
Yeah.
0, put a 1/1 count on each creature you control. Those creatures gain flying.
Damn.
Very cool. And notably, in a set with dragons that are big creatures, she has a -3 loyalty. You can do it the turn she comes out. Destroy target creature an opponent controls with mana value 3 or greater. So she's a utility.
She's a
Planeswalker.
dragon killer.
Honestly, she's kind of
Dragon
full
Slayer.
of just good value.
Yeah, it's good to have some things in the set that are going to fight the dragons, right? I guess that's half the point.
And the art is very cool. Elspeth has fully embraced just being a Valkyrie now.
And we didn't see that card as well.
Elspeth is just an angel now, right? She's fully committed to being an angel.
yes,
Was she not an angel?
I think she was
No.
she was always on the path to be.
Yeah.
It was like her destiny, whatever, to get there.
But
that
Elspeth
like a
was,
training
because
school?
Elspeth
Most of
was
the
originally
time.
from Theros,
yes, absolutely, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then she kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense, like
Yeah.
a mythological thing. And then a couple of really cool other cards. Another one I saw, which I thought was very fun. Call of the Spirit Dragons is a 5-mana enchantment, which is in all 5 colors, one of each. Dragons you control have indestructible. Okay.
Yeah.
Did
Oh, yeah, I
dragons
know
need
what you're
that?
talking about. Yeah,
Did the Earth Dragon deck need an
There's a
enchantment
lot
that
of
said
win more
dragons are
stuff going on in
indestructible?
this set for sure, yeah.
Correct. At the beginning of your upkeep, for each color, put a 1/1 counter on a dragon you control of that color. Sure. If you put a 1/1 counter on 5 dragons this way, you win the game.
All right.
What?
Let me hear you out. You play this card. You play Dragon Genesis.
Yeah.
Tiamat's free.
Yeah.
You get 7 dragons.
Yeah.
They're free.
You win.
You win.
Damn.
I get that the first 2 steps are roughly hard because you need to get those 2 enchantments on the board, but you play in Commander where enchantment removal is nowhere near as prevalent
Dragons
as
are
other
doing some
removal.
wacko stuff in this set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's easy.
But I want to also move the topic away from Gym Dragons. I know they're taking a big spotlight as well. I'm liking that there's a lot of references to older sets as well. Like we're revisiting Tarkir. We have a lot of classic mentions to old characters like Narset is back, Alicia's back,
Yeah.
Sarkhan is back.
Zergo's back. Big fan of Zergo.
Yeah.
He's actually got a functionally good. Like Zergo's always been fun and character driven, but the cards haven't really been that playable. So you back in the day, like when the original Tarkir came out, this is we're talking about 2014, 2015. That Zergo was played as Commander then, but very quickly scaled out of the game.
Yeah.
Like in modern Commander, you don't see him at all.
He's a bit one-dimensional.
Yeah,
He's
but
very much smash.
At
smash.
least the new one's not very exciting, but it's definitely playable. You could build something with it, you know. I also like that his rules on his card. He creates one of the rule lines basically says like you create the 2 warriors with a certain ability, and then you have to sacrifice at the end of the turn. but then his ability is his second ability is you don't sacrifice it. So they've given it an ability and then countered its own ability and thing.
Well, the main
for
thing
the
is
benefit of the player, but why?
One of the new mechanics they introduced in the set is mobilize. Mobilize says that when this
mobilize isn't that old? Didn't that come out in
Mobilize a new mechanic?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. Never mind.
Mobilize was in the one of the Phyrexian ones with the circle. The recent Phyrexian one, and there was like equipment that would come in, and the equipment would mobilize, and you can attach the equipment to the mobilized thing.
Gotcha. So mobilize is a mechanic that says when you attack, you generate tokens equal to the mobilized number, but you have to sacrifice the tokens at the next end step.
Did you have to sacrifice them before?
No. Do we?
But the new Zogo says you don't have to sacrifice them. So they stay around. You just keep making
I'm also
tokens.
now very confused because I'd forgotten the mobilized. Mobilized was definitely in the other one.
Maybe I'm not sure. I thought mobilize.
We'll probably go back to the I keep saying Slanesh.
What is a new mechanic is omens.
Yeah.
Which very much confused me when I first came out because it's in the same framing style as an adventure, but it's not nearly as good as adventure.
Maybe we just accept that new framing style is how they're going to do split cards.
I reckon.
Which I'm okay with because I like the old, Is It? What are those ones called? What's that plane called where Is It is? Ravnica. The Ravnica split card where it's two small cards.
You just don't see enough art.
Yeah.
You're missing out. It's
all too smushed in.
And then you have the doors.
Yeah. The doors are okay.
I don't like turning my cards sideways. I'm tired of turning my cards sideways to read them.
Yes. I also don't like in collection stuff, they look a bit funny, but I also don't like when the card's printed on the back of a card. It's super awkward.
Yeah.
I'm sick of flipping cards, especially if you're a commander, you do it way less. But if you're playing when we play Highlander, and you're going to flip things out of and all your sleeve gets all shitty after a while because your fingers are in there.
Like Reflections of Kiki Jiki.
Yeah.
I just have an extra card spare in case. I don't want to be flipping my card all around. So there's a new mechanic, Omen. It looks exactly like an adventure, but doesn't functionally play like an adventure. Adventure is you play the instant sorcery side, and later on you can play the creature side because the card goes to temporarily in exile. Omens is after you play the instant or sorcery side, the card gets shuffled back into your library. Meaning you can maybe see the card again later and then choose again if you want to play it. But the shuffling in instead of putting into a temporary zone where you can play it later, not as good.
Yeah.
It's not like banking the card anymore.
What if you want to shuffle because you've been drawing dead?
I get it though, because I think that mechanic makes it some really fun interactions in standard when you're running 4 of a card. And you're constantly seeing the card back again.
Yeah.
You keep cycling again. And that makes some cool gameplay mechanics. So those are the two main notable new mechanics introduced in the set. So
Pretty interesting.
I thought I'd helm the non-dragon side of the game. So there's some actual proper bangers. So out of the commander set, there's a 4-cost enchantment called Within Range. And it says, when this enchantment enters the battlefield, create 2 1-red warrior creatures for whatever, just tokens, right? But the second line says, whenever you attack, each opponent loses life equal to the number of attacking creatures that are attacking them.
Ooh,
Damn.
that's hot.
For token decks, that's cooked.
Yeah.
Like, think of some goblin decks or whatever.
Ugh, goblins.
Like, you know what I mean?
This had a lot of goblins though. No?
This set?
Yeah.
Yeah, a few. There was a pretty strong goblin theme last time as well. It's the kind of I guess they've gone down like a you know in World of Warcraft there's those weird little guys that live on top of the Panda Island. They're a bit more. They've got beards and they still call them goblins, but they're very different to goblins.
Okay. Yeah, like little gremlin looking.
Yeah, little gremlin looking guys. Yeah, but I think that's a banger. There's
a card called Dragon Lord 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like in a lot of token decks, you build a lot of tokens, but they're going in, they're going to die just like blockers. But at least they'll probably still die to the blockers, but at least you're getting some damage across as well. I think
if a 1/1 token dies, but it dealt 1 damage,
Play Impact Tremors, play that, give in the game.
Yeah. There's Steward of the Harvest, which is the meme card of the set, right? Steward of the Harvest is when this creature enters exile up to 3 target lands from your graveyard, and then creatures you control have all activated abilities.
Ooh, that's going to do some scary stuff, I think.
Yeah.
That's a weird one, because
the meme's like Wasteland. All your creatures become Wasteland.
It's not a meme.
So you're playing a token deck and then you just Wasteland at your opponent.
I don't think the card is a meme at all. That's thespian
What's
stage dark
What's
depths.
the cost?
She is a 4-cost green creature.
Oh, green is so easy though.
I maintain that's going to be a thespian dark depth style of card.
Yeah, but I guess you could just have you have an infinite
Can you imagine if you copy a
you can keep
creature?
making Marit Lages.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, if you copy a creature, it's like instantly
There's a couple cards.
instant Mario Lage, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple cards in this set that a lot of 7-point players.
counters.
Yeah.
A lot of 7-point players are speculating a lot of cards coming up. There's some strong pushes. A big one for me, I know that a lot of the 7-point players are just kind of up in raw about this card. Sorry, did you have any more cards before I cut in?
Just before we cut, so I'd like to do something like it'd be good to do something funny, right? So you have it as a coming into the land, and then you just maze it with everything. Just maze it with everything all the time.
Oh shit!
But
you must have
that would
haste,
happen,
right?
Yeah, I guess so. But if you're making tokens or whatever, the creatures are already on the field. They're
once you have enough Maze of Ithers, there's no combat anymore.
Yeah.
You would also be.
There's got to be some other funny combos with lands.
That's the classic.
Out there as well.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I need to go home, but my opponent now is hostage.
Yeah, he's created 100 Maze of Iths, so no one can do anything.
Please.
What if you exile the Valakut
Valakut?
Oh,
and you just play one mountain?
One mountain and it shoots off 50
No,
Valakuts.
you're right.
That's actually that's a hell
That's
good
insane.
idea. I love
oh my
that.
god, it's so powerful.
Yeah. Lands.
Damn, that is cool.
Tarkir has some really cool stuff with lands.
I've just got 2 more, then I'll go quick. I think the artifacts in the set are really cool.
Yeah.
The Dragonfire Blade, sick.
That's
It's
the
like-
1 mana one, right?
Yeah, it's 1 mana. It's
Spicy.
2/2. Hexproof. Has hexproof from monocolored, which
Champion's
is like,
Helm, right?
which is
no, not Champion's Helm. Sorry. There's
Champion's
another
Helm.
card that gives you protection from monocolored and is pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's the sword from the Thunder Junction, right?
Yeah, because most weapons, most removal is 1 color.
Yeah, you look at Swords of Plowshares, all those kind of things. They're all usually 1 color, right? All
Lightning
the good
bolts,
ones
yada,
are 1
yada,
color
yada.
that people are playing. I think the art on the really basic version of this card is very cool. Like it's like a lightning blade coming out the mouth of a dragon as the hilt. So like I know my boy Connor's going to be like bricked up for that. bad boy.
Yeah.
There's another one that's a rare, and it's going to be a 30-cent card, but I actually think it's amazing. It's a 2 cost, one colorless, 1 red, and it has the equipped creature has haste and trample. So, but
Ooh, that's a strong keyword combo.
yeah, and it has a thing called Flurry. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess. You may attach this equipment to it. So it's a 2 cost artifact. It's just hard to interact
Yeah.
with. Whenever you cast your second spell, you get a 1/1 creature with prowess. That's actually pretty
In
good,
the
man.
deck that plays it, you actually probably playing that equipment and then playing another creature and then immediately having an extra creature that's equipped.
And it gets attached to it, right? I think it's actually pretty good.
Not bad.
I'm going to be putting in my Lalia, the one
Oh,
yeah, because it's already fast. I already play my Lalia quite fast and competitive, but it gives it trample, man. The trample, Lalia doesn't need the haste, but the trample in mono red decks, it's hard to come across. I like this.
You're
a lot.
relying on your equipment.
Yeah, there's a few enchantments here and there, like Attack of the Wilds, whatever. But like the mono red trample is not as easy to come by. I like this a lot.
The Jeskai clan in this set, the white, red, blue clan, is all about casting as many spells as possible, which is really cool because they really emphasize that monk token, that prowess monk token.
Yeah.
So, any more cards?
I'm gonna put it in my Highlander deck and see how it goes. I just
So-
want to try it.
The deck that I will be putting into Highlander decks going forward this is one that's, I'm glad this is a 3-color card, so
Yeah.
it limits it to specifically for the 3-color decks.
Oh, interesting.
Mardu Siegebreaker.
Oh, this yeah.
Mardu Siegebreaker is kind of making all
is it
the
the
waves.
Snapcaster?
No, not the Snapcaster.
Oh, what does it do?
Mardu Siegebreaker is a 4 mana, 1 and then Mardu colors, so red, white, black, for a 4/4 Death Touch Haste. Sure, the body is fine. Death Touch Haste is a good combo.
It's 4 for 4 Death Touch Haste. 5 years ago, people would be like, what's the questing beast? People went wild for that.
Yeah.
This is better than questing beast, man.
Yes, I would actually argue because of the rest of the cards, it's going to be better than Questing Beast. This is also just a classic, like first pick in your draft.
Yeah.
It has, when this creature enters, you exile one other creature you control until this creature leaves. So you actually exile one of your creatures and it goes away until this creature goes away. But whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a token copy of the exiled card attacking that opponent. At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice the token. So whenever you attack, you make a temporary clone of whatever creature you chose to exile, tapped and attacking as well. So there's a lot of crazy stuff you do with Mardu Siegebreaker in 7 point, where you just you exile away like a Flage or whatever. And every
my
time you
God.
attack, you're making a tapped version of Flage attacking and dealing the extra combos.
Yeah.
You're in Mardu, so you're in red, white, and black. You have tons of good creatures that want to attack and trigger attack triggers. You have tons of creatures that have good death triggers. Like Chaos Defiler?
Is this creature legendary?
No.
So
Luminor
in
Warrior.
standard, you could just play. You could have 2 of them, and they could make
Wait.
copies of each other.
Yeah. And it's a death
Wait,
touch
hold on,
haste,
hold on.
which means people really
What if
don't.
you create 3 copies of initiative?
You can. That's the crazy part. You exile an initiative creature and attack.
disgusting.
You're making copies of initiative creatures every time, and you just
But for each opponent, right?
for each opponent. But
So
in
only
1v1,
one.
Yeah.
it's still fine.
But you're still hitting initiative, like the
See-
5 damage initiative in
Yeah.
a turn or two.
So you gain back initiative, and then you
It's
enter,
so-
gain it again.
this card is crazy because with the Death
Gross.
Touch haste means that it's going to trigger the turn it comes out. I think
Yeah.
haste will makes the card playable.
Yeah.
And then the Death Touch makes it so that no matter what, your
Survivable.
Mardu
What's the
Siege-
cost again?
4 mana. Yeah, Death Touch haste. It's very playable.
Also, that version of the card you're showing where he's on the
Looks
back
sick.
of the eagle is
Yeah,
so
he's
sick.
riding the
That's
bird.
a
It's
sick
sick.
card.
That Death Touch means that it's no matter what, it's going to trade with something.
Yeah.
It's very tradable. Like, come on, even like, let's say I have a Skyclave Apparition, which is a creature that enters the battlefield and exiles a thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Every turn, zap,
I
zap,
just
zap, zap,
remember.
zap.
So if you attack, you create a token, you gain initiative, and then
Yeah.
they kill the creature. Then the actual creature comes back initiative.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a safe.
The safety net of
The
it,
safety net
you're getting
of
it back anyway.
The safety net of when this creature dies, you get the original creature back. You just have it's such a versatile.
Oh my
piece.
God.
It protects your cards. I have the classic thing of
I
let's
need
say
to
you
play
have a
black
Chaos
in my Boris deck now.
Yeah. Chaos Defiler is a red black card that says when it enters the battlefield, you destroy a thing, and when it leaves the battlefield, you destroy a thing. So this making a Chaos Defiler trick every turn means you're killing 2 things every time you attack, and you get the Trampler.
gross.
This card is doing some heavy lifting.
I like the you know how Val has the ninjutsu deck?
Yeah.
Imagine getting ninjutsu'd into that thing.
Yep.
So it comes in, it's got like you
Well,
get ninjutsu'd in,
it's why
it does
I'm-
the
it's
exile
why I'm
and it does the
glad-
death touch.
It's why it's glad it's specifically in red, white, and black. Because it's 3 colors, it's limited specifically for those decks. So it's not going to be everywhere.
Or the 5-color jangle.
Also, Pyroglyph.
That Pyroglyph was what I was going to say. as
Pyroglyph
well.
is very good right now, seeing a
Yeah.
lot of play.
Comes
This is
in,
constantly zapping a thing. Oh
Yeah.
my god. This card is just doing so much heavy lifting for Madu.
Yeah. I actually love that a
Damn,
lot.
So bad. I like it.
Another card that caught my eye as well. Back in the old Tarkir days, if you're around, there was a classic card called Siege Rhino. Siege Rhino is a 4 mana 4/5.
I thought 3 mana.
No,
Nah, it's 4 mana.
4 mana. 4 mana for a 4/5
yeah.
that enters the battlefield, drain your opponent for 3, and gains you 3 life.
Do you know what the funniest bit is? Back in the
trouble.
day, it was real. People up in arms. They're like, "This is crazy! It's breaking the game!" Like Siege, it's like Siege Rhino was
Siege
like,
Rhino was OP.
yeah, it's the discussion, and it's like I don't think I've seen a Siege Rhino in about 10 years.
No, Siege Rhino does not see competitive play anymore.
Yeah.
But Siege Rhino, when the time it came out, it was such an oppressively crazy card. It broke so many formats. It's actually got a little history behind it, the Siege Rhino. There's a really cool video essay by Ristic Study. Ristic Study on YouTube is specifically a video essayist for Magic. There's a lot of good content. He actually did a video essay on Siege Rhino, and I recommend people go check it out. Very good video.
Oh,
They've done
interesting.
a spiritual successor to Siege Rhino
Nice.
in the new Tarkir set. It's called Skirmish Rhino. It's a 3 mana, 3/4. So similar stats to that 4 mana
Smaller,
4/5,
yeah.
but smaller. Trample, when it enters the battlefield, your opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So it's a mini Siege Rhino.
Hey, not bad.
Instead of a 4 mana Siege Rhino, it's a 3 mana Siege Rhino at smaller stats.
It's kind of like the skim milk version of the Siege Rhino.
Meaning.
But because it's 3 mana, it doesn't make it better.
I think so.
It's a little more castable.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
yeah.
cool. I'm very curious
Turn
to see how
3.
this card goes.
Turn 2, maybe.
Can we build ourselves a Highlander Rhino themed deck now?
Maybe. This Siege Rhino is a
There's a
cult
lot-
classic.
Yeah,
Like, there's a
yeah.
lot of people who love that card. It's a
Yeah.
fan favorite. So then bringing it back and giving standard players the chance to play it again.
Turn,
is a
casting
cool
that
little
on
nod.
turn 2 is stronger than Siege Rhino, no?
Yeah.
No?
Well, what made Siege Rhino really strong was the whole encompassing that Tarkir was crazy back then because you had the fetch land, so 3-color decks were super easy to play.
Yeah.
And you had a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
flickering as well in that set. So people were flickering Siege Rhino. That was the crazy part. Because
Yeah.
you also had a Reclamation Angel in the same set at the time.
Oh, damn.
Not the same set, but it was around legality. So people were trying to, people were trying to get rid of your Siege Rhino, you would flicker it, and then you would take another 3 damage, they'd get another 3 life.
Well, back then for standard, it really like hit an all-time like speed bump, I guess. No, maybe not speed bump, like a speed bonus,
Like a ramp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the game, I can't remember if it's a set before the set after, but it's when it had the expedition lands. So and they were in it was in the format, so you could play them in standard, right?
Yeah.
So in that had like all of those lands, it's all of your fetch lands, all of your the Tarkir had the fetch lands, and then the next one had what do you call it, like the pain lands that do 2 damage. I forgot the name of it now.
Yeah. I know
What's
the
your
ones.
take on bringing back fetch lands to standard?
They've already said they won't bring fetch lands back in the standard.
Oh.
They don't like fetch lands in standard because it's too strong and it's too much shuffling.
Oh, so they're not actually. You can't use them in standard.
The special guest slot is not legal.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Special guest is always not legal.
Okay, because back then it definitely made a huge difference.
Yeah, and they've
sped the game up a lot.
That's why they've learned from their mistakes and like we're not doing that again.
Interesting. Yeah, because what I was saying is like you had the land cycle from the next set and then the fetch lands together. Like it was like decks became incredibly expensive and very the game sped up a lot.
Fetch lands have a problem, which is it makes colors too viable.
Yeah,
you don't want standard to become all 3-color, 4-color decks. Then you kind of can't design cards to be balanced around colors anymore because everyone's going wild on colors.
I did like that in standard though, and in the smaller formats. When you can have 4 fetch lands, sometimes 8 or 10 fetch lands, you can really thin the deck out, and the game feels like it's moving along like a lot quicker. Like you got a lot less dead draws, which is fun to play with and against. But it did feel a bit more like your Flesh and Blood, where it's much quicker.
Yeah,
and it also forced everybody to be at the amount of fetch lands so that the deck stayed competitive, which I understand is financially prohibitive for sure.
Generally speaking, the way like Modern and Legacy is balanced with the presence of fetch lands is that those formats have cards which punish colors a lot more. You don't necessarily want that in standard because you don't want that arms race of go for colors and punishing colors and go for colors and punishing colors. But in a high power format, it's okay. So you have those Blood Moons in Modern. You have those cards that destroy lands in those formats. Or you have those cards that just say take damage. Like what's the one where it's like your opponent takes damage equal to Price of Progress.
Price of Progress.
Those cards exist in those formats to balance out the multicolored decks. And even then, still dominated by the 3-color decks. So, and you don't want that in standard. You don't want standard to become this format where like everyone's like, I got to Blood Moon you because otherwise you're going to be a 5-color deck. Not fun.
Everyone's playing fetches and Blood Moons. You're like,
yeah, exactly.
That's modern.
Honestly, super optimistic going into the set. I feel like I say this for every set coming out now, but I truly do believe it. Like nowadays, sets are going in with a lot stronger themes and a lot more cool cards.
People love dragons.
Definitely.
And this whole Tarkir setting is very, very cool.
Yeah, it's a return to a favorite. I didn't always feel this way. You know, there was definitely around the times, maybe like 2 years ago, when sets were coming out, and I was like, shrug. But nowadays, cool stuff coming out. Another couple announcements as well. More Secret Lairs coming. We have I was able to actually nab us some Deadpool Secret Lairs.
Nice.
So if you don't know about that, turns out on April Fool's Day, Wizards of the Coast decided out of nowhere on Secret Lair, drop a set of Deadpool cards. Very kind of classic Deadpool cards with a lot of fourth wall breaking references.
Cool art, I do like that. The fourth wall break is very cool, and there's the reprints in these ones are actually pretty good. Like the Deadly Rollick and stuff.
Great reprint.
Still a $40-$50 card.
Just staples. Blasphemous Act as well. Deadly Rollick, the Sawn and Half.
Sawn and Half is very
Vandal
good.
Blast as well.
And Sawn and Half was a bit hard to get because it was in the Acorn set where people didn't.
No one really opened
Unhinged
that
or whatever. One of the
Infinity.
Infinity, yeah. And it was like that was already not a very popular set to begin with. So I don't think it's very expensive, but it's a cool commander card to have. Played some fun stuff with that.
You had the classic Deadpool referencing thing. So like in the flavor text for Vandal Blast, Vandal Blast's art is him flamethrowering a Black Lotus.
And
then the flavor text is like, oh, look at me, I'm Chandra Nala. In his own specific card, it's very self-referential. It's Deadpool, trading card. And it's him cutting his own card in the art. His gameplay, whoever actually designed the card did a great job. I feel like always props to the card designers and the creativity in designing a card. Deadpool being such a fourth wall self-referential character, his gameplay mechanic is when you play Deadpool, you replace his text box with another creature's text box. So he steals the entire text box of another creature, giving his text box to someone else. And his text box says, at your beginning of your upkeep, you take 3 damage. You can pay 3 and destroy this creature, and then everyone else, sacrifice this creature, and everyone else draws a card.
Yeah, everyone else, including Deadpool.
Oh, that means your commander is going to be very expensive very quickly, though.
No, Deadpool doesn't die. You trade text boxes.
Yeah,
so you give that text box to another creature, and you take like the Ur Dragon's text box.
I'm a dragon now.
So someone plays their Ur Dragon, right, and then you play Deadpool, and then they don't have Ur Dragon anymore. Your Deadpool is Ur Dragon, and they have a shitty card that says you take 3 damage every upkeep.
That is fun actually.
And then if they sacrifice it, and then you try to
there's some important extra rules text that have been coming out as well. If you flicker Deadpool, he just keeps taking text boxes.
Oh, he just keeps collecting them.
No, he doesn't collect them. He replaces, but the creature that you replace with still has the shitty text. So you can slowly just replace everyone's cards with shitty
Conjurer's
cards.
Closet. Just do it every time.
Yeah.
Nice.
What color is it again?
Rakdos, red, black.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Makes sense. This is color of the suit, right? Like,
Correct.
I love
Colours
it.
of the
Ah,
suit.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Which would be the only appropriate thing for,
Yeah,
Rakdos
so,
is the
yeah.
shenanigans colors. It's only appropriate for Deadpool. Honestly, kind of fun. Kind of down for it.
Absolutely, yeah.
We'll have that sequel there coming through in Northern Boards. Keep an eye out for that one there. I believe it ships out April the 4th. So within a week of that time span. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
Any last announcements, guys? I know it's another short episode this
Do we
week.
want to play Dragon or Lizard, or we're going to save that for another time?
We'll save it for another time.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Dragon or lizard. Come by, try the dragon burger.
Any last words, William?
Nah, just
You
dragon
looking
burger.
forward to cracking your
Not
Dragonstorm?
really. Too tired.
Too tired.
Warhammer Fantasy League campaign is coming up this week. I'll be putting up first rounds. So everyone's interested.
Check out the Instagram.
Check out my Instagram rat thing.
Okay.
I don't even know how to describe it.
Danny's been playing dress ups.
I don't know how to
Okay.
describe it. I opened up Instagram and I saw that on Northern Boards page. Just go check it out. Just go to Northern Boards on Instagram. You just see what happened.
I live with my brother, and I had to film it quickly before he got home because I didn't want him to come home and see me dressed up like that doing that, and I didn't want to have that conversation. So I rushed it as quickly as I could.
I'm
Okay.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Enjoy
Charles.
Dragons. Enjoy
Meows.
Tarkir Dragonstorm. Hope to see you guys at the pre-release. Take it back, everyone. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.